Good morning, Magic. I'm Gavin Verhey from Wizards of the Coast, and one particular mechanic I love is back in Battle for Baldur's Gate, Myriad. First appearing in Commander 2015, it's a fun multiplayer mechanic, and I suggested we bring it back this time around, and it worked. But before I get into the strategy, let's take a look at my two preview cards for today. First up is Genasi Enforcers, 1 and a red for a 1/3 elemental shaman. It has Myriad and the ability to pay 2 mana to give all Genasi Enforcers +1/+0. They all pump up together. A great way to chip in damage early and hit hard in the long game. Up next is a card you should try to say 5 times fast. Tabaxi Toucaniers, Tabaxi Toucaniers, Tabaxi Toucaniers, Tabaxi Toucaniers, Tabaxi Toucaniers. I did it! It's 4 and a white for a 3/2 flying Myriad creature. A 5 mana 3/2 flyer doesn't sound like much until you realize it's really attacking for a total of 9 damage. How so? I'll talk strategy in a second, but let's go over to Matt Tabak for the rules.
Gavin, Myriad is one of my favorite commander mechanics because it's built on a very simple premise. Why attack one of your opponents when you can attack everybody? No politics, you are all the enemy. My aggression is for all of you. Myriad, it is a triggered ability. It says whenever this creature attacks, for each opponent other than the defending player, you may create a token that's a copy of this creature. It's tapped and attacking either that player or a planeswalker they control. So let's imagine, also the tokens are exiled at end of combat if they survive that long. Let's imagine I'm in a 4-player game with you, Gavin, and 2 identical Gavins. One of them in festive Hawaiian garb. We'll dub that one Gavin Beta. The other one in some sort of jaunty suit. That's Gavin the Third. So I attack Gavin Prime with Tabaxi Toucaniers, one of your preview cards, Flying Myriad. Thought that name was an error, by the way. It's Tabak, not Tabaxi. That's fine. I create 2 tokens. One of them is headed toward Beta. The other one is headed toward the Third. Now, if either of Beta or the Third controlled a Planeswalker, I could have the token enter the battlefield tapped and attacking that Planeswalker, or I could stay true to the goal, eyes on the prize, have it attacking my opponent. Some of the creatures of Myriad will have enters the battlefield abilities, and of course, when the tokens are created, those abilities will trigger. Some of them might have, saboteur abilities when they deal combat damage to a player, and all of a sudden you'll have a bunch of these tokens headed towards players, so you might get a lot of bonus triggered abilities for dealing lots of combat damage. Some, very cool designed abilities, and it's just rewards some aggression, some, well-placed attacks, and one of my favorite abilities, that's Myriad. Gavin, back to you.
One of the challenges with more aggressive decks in Commander Draft is chewing through 3 opponents' life totals. That can be a lot. Myriad makes that easier to start, but that alone isn't all. Myriad does a lot more. If you're playing a sacrifice deck, keep in mind that Myriad creates multiple creature tokens you can sacrifice. Those tokens are removed at end of combat, so you can swing and then sacrifice them just before they go away. They'll also trigger all your enters and leaves the battlefield triggers. Considering the white-black draft archetype wants you to have a permanent leave the battlefield to trigger its effects, Myriad is especially potent there. There's a lot of subtle interactions and synergies here to keep in mind. Are you as happy as I am to see Myriad return? Let me know in the comments down below. I'll be back tomorrow as I round things out with one more mechanic. And until then, may you see a myriad of possibilities. You got this.
So anyway, adventures. You showed off, if I remember, Guardian Naga. Let's take a look at Guardian Naga. Adventures, kind of that cool storybook frame. These, of course, were introduced in Throne of Eldraine. Each adventure has 2 parts. The main part of it is the creature. It has all the stats you'd normally associate with creatures. It's got a mana cost. It's got a power toughness.